What's going on, everybody? This is Z3 here, back to a brand new video. I'm a day or two late on this. I actually planned on uploading this Sunday evening. It is now Monday evening. It's actually 1 o'clock in the morning, and I will be setting this upload tomorrow on Tuesday, probably at 11 normal time. So I am indeed 2 days late. I do apologize for that, but we are going to be covering the Elite 8 games. There were 4 games to decide the Final 4 on Saturday and Monday. So let's go ahead and get started with the first game, Illinois and UConn. Now, I did not get to watch this game, unfortunately, because of work, but I did get to see the highlights. At one point, it was 23-23. It was tied. Pretty good game. And then UConn went on a 30-0 run. Illinois missed, I think 19 straight shots. And at one point, 53-23. And as you can see at the final score, 72-52. UConn pretty much dominated them from that point on until the end of the game, and UConn again has led every game by 30 points. They seem unstoppable. I personally thought that if Auburn had beaten Illinois, Iowa State, rather, the 2 seed, would have beaten Illinois, they would have been a much better matchup for UConn because they would have had a much better defense. But I'm not too sure there's any matchup that's good enough to beat UConn. And UConn moves on to the Final 4 in dominant fashion. Number 4, Alabama versus number 6, Clemson. I got to watch this game. Alabama comes back from 3 down. They started lighting it up at the second half. Mark Sears played a tremendous game, and Clemson just horrible. Let's go ahead and look at the stats here. 8 of 16 on free throw. That's 50%. If they would have gone 14 out of 16, that's the game right there. It's free throws. Gotta make your free throws, folks. Alabama went on a tear in the second half. Mark Sears had 23 points with 7 of 14 from 3. Griffin with 3 of 6. Stevenson with 5 of 8 from 3. Big game for him. That tough loss for Clemson. I really thought they were going to beat Alabama, but they did not. Alabama is now into his first Final Four. Both of these teams were fighting for their first Final Four, and Alabama pulled it out. So let's go into the second day, Saturday. Tennessee versus number 1 Purdue. This was a close game. As you can know, Zach Edey, the foul merchant, he shot 23 free throws during the game. 14 out of 22. Very not good 3-point shooting at all. As you can see, the big disparity in free throws. 33 free throws versus 7 free throws. Honestly, the refs were very favored in Purdue's way, but Tennessee just didn't do what they needed to do to win. I feel like there were a lot of bullshit ticky-tack fouls on Zach Edey that should not have been fouls. As you can see, Connect had 37 points, and Edey had 40 points. So the 2 stars really pulled it out there. I really thought that Tennessee was going to beat them, and I wanted Tennessee to beat them because I do not like Purdue. But whatever. Tennessee is also fighting for their first Final Four, and Purdue will have its first Final Four since the 1980s. And over here, my team, Duke, unfortunately got their ass whipped by NC State. They're actually up by 13 at one point, and NC State went on a run in the second half, and I think Duke was up by a little bit, maybe 3 or 6 points. And in the second half, NC State overscored like 20 points against them, and Duke went back to old Duke, and they were just afraid of contact, played horrible. Only made 3 threes. No turnovers. A lot of fouls for Duke favor. Filipowski had a horrible game. A lot of frustration fouls. I honestly thought Kyle Filipowski's, I think, draft stock went down drastically during that game. He just is not. I mean, he's good, but he's just not as good as people think he should be. And I was very disappointed in performance the entire year. Really, I just really think that he had a down year compared to his freshman year. I really thought he was going to sprout. Same thing with Proctor. People thought that Proctor was going to be a potential Player of the Year candidate, and he had a horrible year all year. Look, he didn't like a single shot. Was 0-9, 0-5, played horrible. Roach played horrible. People like to praise Roach for all of it. He's a super senior. I think he's one of Duke's best. I think he's one of Duke's biggest liabilities. He has been a liability for 3 years now. He is not good. He's very overrated, turnover prone, takes horrible shots. We'll have a good game here and there, but overall, he is not a good player, and I can't wait for him to graduate because he has been holding this team back for sure. Jerry McCain, though, he had 32 points, had a great game. He's probably going to the NBA immediately, and we'll hate to see him go, but he was only the really highlight of this entire year, was this guy right here. Very disappointing year for Duke. Even though they almost went to the Final Four, but still, very disappointing year. Burns continues his dominance. He had 29 points. Absolute beast down low. Horn picked it up in the second half, had 20 points, and NC State was going back to their first Final Four since the 80s as well. So, Fletcher bracket Final Four. We've got Alabama versus number 1 seed Alabama. We've got 1 seed UConn versus number 1 seed Alabama. We got the Cinderella 11 seed NC State versus number Purdue. I personally would like to see UConn and NC State. I think that NC State could give Purdue problems. I think Burns is going to play physical against Edey, and we'll see how he responds if he comes under pressure. But they're probably going to call out ticky-tack fouls against NC State, but I hope they get hot and beat Purdue. So UConn and NC State would be a great game to watch. I also want to discuss the women's bracket real quick. Iowa. Let's go ahead and look at this game right here. Iowa downs LSU. Caitlin Clark gets her revenge. We don't want to watch a video because then we're going to get... I don't want to watch a video. I don't want to get copyright strikes. Please stop.
There you go, baby.
Stop. Screw your ad. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at the game here. Anissa Morrow, 18 points. Flu J. Johnson, 23 points. Angel Reese had 17, but was 7 of 21. Horrible shooting night. 20 rebounds, though. That's pretty impressive. 10 offensive rebounds. But then again, Haley Van Lith, only 2. She had a horrible game. So here's what happened in this game. I got to watch the last half. If we go over here to Iowa, Caitlin Clark had 41 points. Could not be stopped. She was guarded by Haley Van Lith the whole game, and she would just blow by her every single time and would just do whatever. I've never seen someone dominate a player one-on-one so bad before. Caitlin Clark is unbelievably good. But I feel like LSU was exposed here as fraudulence. I personally am not a big fan of LSU. I think their coach is a massive bitch, and I can guarantee you New York Post what they've written is right, and she is a bitch. And I also think that Angel Reese is a thug. She is prone to anger, whines, cries, horrible sportsmanship, and now that she's getting fast back, she's playing the victim, and she can't take accountability. Not too shocked there. But I was watching the game, and Angel Reese honestly is overrated. She is freaking garbage, bro. She can hardly catch a pass. Every time she gets the ball down low, she walks. Has a hard time making layups. This L2 team honestly sucked. Like, if it wasn't for the refs, they would have been beat by 20 because the refs kept them in the game. That is for a fact. LSU plays very dirty. They had a lot of fouls that should have been called against them. They had little walks that weren't called. Very dirty team. Very bad coach. Very bad players. Characteristic-wise. Not judged by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. Well, LSU, your character is severely lacking, and I am so glad that LSU lost. And Iowa got their revenge. And kudos to Caitlin Clark for taking down the biggest frauds in the NCAA, which is the LSU Women's Tigers. It's not a race thing, it's just a character thing. And Bozo Pack, see you guys next year. Anyways, let's go back to the men, the real basketball. And Final Four will be coming up soon. Next Final Four games will be Saturday, so we got to wait an entire week before the Final Four hits. And anyways, again, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more content. There will be some more gaming content coming soon with the end of March Madness. And again, leave a comment down below how your bracket is doing. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and stay frosty.